What up, Space Fam? Goes in here back to discuss the latest chapter of One Piece, and things are really starting to go down. We got more Dragon, which is always great, but also we got the reveal of Vegapunk's true dream and a hype rematch for Luffy, so make sure to stay tuned for this hype chapter. Be a Pirate King and smash that like button if you enjoyed these reviews, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future ones. Now without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. This chapter is called A Genius's Dream, which of course speaks of Vegapunk's dream that I've already mentioned. On the cover, we fittingly got two other geniuses, namely Caesar Clown and Vince Spoke Judge. The chapter starts with Punk 4 telling CP0 that they can return the Esper Pacifista without entering. He just says, issue the return order and your mission is complete. Kaku says that that's cold-hearted, and Rob Lucci immediately wonders if they have noticed. Of course, the smartest man in the world sees the attempt on his life coming and acts accordingly. That would make sense. Kaku in vain tries to convince Vegapunk to let them in, saying it's been a long journey and they're cold, even asking for a cup of tea or something. Rob Lucci, after verifying Vegapunk's identity, asks about the disappearance here in Egghead. In the past 2 months, not one government ship has returned, and Lucci asks why. The response is that all ships' departures were confirmed. This is one of those classic back and forths where both sides know what's up, but they're still trying to follow formalities and pretend like it's all cool. Of course, thankfully, the smartest man in the world is not that gullible, and thankfully he has a Yonko crew on his side now to protect them, and just in time. It's fun to see how different personalities react differently. Lilith is fuming that they're implying that the punks laid hands on those ships, while Pythagoras simply says relax to Lilith and that CP0 should please leave. Rob Lucci, of course, is not taking no for an answer. He decides they'll abandon the ship and fly towards the island using the Pacifista's flight abilities. He's aware that the sea beasts will destroy his ship when they invade. I like how he's literally, in a sense, burning the boats here so they either get what they want or die. Now that Oda's removed the possibility of CP0 just retreating on their ship, you know something big is about to go down, and I'm hyped for it. Interestingly enough, at the Grand Line, the real Kuma uses his power to disappear to Dragon's surprise. Where is he going? It would be weird if he wasn't using his powers to get to Egghead at this point, where everything is going down and where his daughter is. Since we know well that Vegapunk is pretty much a good guy now, it's not hard to believe that Vegapunk didn't completely erase Kuma's will, and he's probably acting on his own will now. Although he better not get recaptured after everything the revolutionaries did, just saying. And finally, we come to Luffy's group, who are with the original Vegapunk. He explains that it's been good, but now the number of helpers and funds he's getting from the world government is no longer enough. He then goes into his dream, which to me definitely seems to be inspired by the scientist Nikola Tesla, as we'll get to, especially the idea of everyone having free energy. He says, one day I want to create a kind of world with science, a world where energy is widespread all over the world, free of charge. Luffy is oblivious as usual, picking his nose, and I love it when shonen protagonists do that, and wondering what that would accomplish. He's probably thinking, if you're not giving meat to everyone, then what's the point? But Vegapunk elaborates, saying the resources that produce energy are fought over by many countries, and that becomes the seed for war. He explains you can feel energy here, over there, and everywhere else. Even though the world is full of it, if I can convert it to visible power, he says, the large fuse of war will be erased from the world. And back to Tesla, that idea of using invisible energy all around us and making it visible through electricity and stuff like wireless light bulbs definitely makes me think that Oda got some of this stuff from Tesla himself, who everyone said was way ahead of his time. Vegapunk says surely science will reach that point one day, although part of me still thinks people will find reasons to have war besides energy, but at least they'll have less reasons. Anyways, as Vegapunk's proclaiming his dream, we get an absolutely amazing panel, making him look like he's heaven sent. I absolutely love the setup of this panel, and it's a very nice idea too that Vegapunk has, especially since science can often lead to worse damage during wars because of advanced technology being able to cause more damage with less effort. He's definitely an idealist, and I'm glad he's not just an amoral scientist who doesn't care what happens as long as he progresses science. I like that his goal is peace, and it makes sense that he gets along with the also peace-driven dragon. Also, I'm definitely seeing the Albert Einstein similarities in some of these panels look-wise. The ideas, like I said, mostly remind me of Tesla, but look-wise, definitely Vegapunk reminds me of Albert Einstein. And I love how Oda draws from everything for inspiration, including fiction and non-fiction. Nothing is off limits. Luffy, for his part, doesn't seem moved. He explains that he thinks a person that can make everyone happy is good, but he's not interested in being a hero though. And it's funny that he keeps saying this while continuing to act rather heroically in situations like Wano where he wants to help and protect the people. It makes him all the more likable though, because he does the good stuff but is not conceited or on a high horse about it, and it also gives him the rebel appeal that pirates should have, which makes me love him all the more. Vegapunk goes on to explain that he's seeking the energy, that dynamic power source that was able to power the ancient robot soldier. He's gotten close to finding out about that ancient energy. He wonders if he unravels the strings of the forbidden history, what on earth will he be able to comprehend? He says in the course of inheriting his friend's will, he is quickly getting close to the truth. And just then, bam, an explosion happens, which of course is CP0 getting closer. Vegapunk realizes that he's running out of time, so he concludes that in short, he stepped too deep into the forbidden story, so he will be eliminated by the world government, just like what they did to Ohara. I really like how in this way, Oda hypes up the importance of knowledge and history so much, to the point where people will do anything to stop you from figuring it out. And of course, it makes the mystery all the more intense and intriguing. It's explained to Luffy that CP0 are those who act only under orders of the Celestial Dragons, and that they are at the top of Cypherpole. I'm really excited to see an old villain that Luffy beat up pop up again and stay relevant. That's another thing I love about One Piece, how the villains can continue to grow strength-wise along with the protagonist, and that definitely goes for Blackbeard too. However, I still don't see Rob Lucci being able to beat Yonko Luffy, so I'm interested in seeing where Oda plans to take this. Not surprisingly, Usopp is freaking out when they realize that Rob Lucci and the rest made it inside. Rob was right about the sea beast destroying their ship, so it looks like this has to come to a head. I'm excited to see Punkwan, aka Daft Punk as I like to call him, preparing to release Seraphim, S-Snake, S-Hawk, and S-Shark for battle. Considering what we've seen from them so far, I feel like CP0 shouldn't be able to just breeze through these next level pacifista versions of Boa, Mihawk, and Jinbei. So right now, it really seems like our side is heavily favored. So finally, we get the request of Vegapunk. He asks if the Straw Hats will take him out to the sea after he packs his belongings. This is hype for a bunch of reasons, and not just for the reasons I already mentioned many reviews ago about Vegapunk being a potential Straw Hat. Also, think about how much more notorious Luffy would be if he was sheltering someone as potentially dangerous to the world government as Vegapunk. Man, if the world government was being honest, Luffy's bounty would be the highest ever, no doubt, if he did that. Fortunately for me, who really wants to see Vegapunk join the crew at least for a time, Luffy agrees to take Vegapunk with him, and his reasoning is flawless. He comments that Vegapunk has a funny looking head, so he guesses it's fine. And unlike Chopper, I am not at all surprised by his selection standards. Vegapunk then tells them to bring Bonnie and move up to the Labo phase above the clouds before disappearing himself. After they are confronted with some holograms, CP0 Stussy reveals that she's been here before. In fact, she finds it all nostalgic. We get hilarious moments where she keeps failing to warn Kaku about things in time, like the fact that he's about to kick a hologram, and then the fact that he's about to get laser beamed when he crosses the line into the Frontier Dome. She says after the fact that they shouldn't underestimate the world's #1 scientist, while Rob Lucci begs her to say things beforehand. Love to see even antagonists having well-developed and funny group dynamics. Then Punk Atlas attacks them, even though Daft Punk tells her she's no match for them. Rob Lucci finally snaps, saying this is not a game, and he crushes Atlas. Even Kaku is like, bruh, no mercy at all, eh? Considering that Atlas's toughness was previously emphasized, this serves to further hype up Rob Lucci's new powers. Rob Lucci notices that Atlas is still breathing before he sees Luffy running, and also narrating what he's about to do, namely go up using the vacuum rocket. And we get a perfect moment as they make eye contact where Rob Lucci comments Straw Hat and Luffy comments Pigeon Guy? We're told there will be no break next week and that a fateful encounter has taken place once again. Again, I'm super interested in seeing where this goes now, since Luffy obviously has already beaten this dude and gotten way stronger since then, even if Rob Lucci has gotten stronger too. I think we should all be waiting to see what Kuma will do as well. That will definitely be relevant. Another thing to consider is that the revolutionaries may well follow Kuma there, and so we could get that epic Straw Hat revolutionary alliance going sooner than expected, like I've been saying we need, and I think it's close, since obviously Luffy and Dragon and their people would get along really well at this point, especially with their Vegapunk connection. Very interesting stuff right now, and let me know what you thought about it, how you like this chapter, and what do you think is going to happen next. Smash that like button if you're a Pirate King and enjoy this chapter. Let me know if you actually see CP0 in this situation posing any kind of threat. Now smash that like button if you're a Pirate King and enjoyed this chapter. Smash that notification bell to get notified when future chapter reviews come out. Be sure to check out my One Piece playlist, link on screen and in the description, where I cover a bunch of One Piece topics, including an hour-long video about Shanks, videos about all the Yonko, warlords, admirals, and much more. Link to that is in the description. And also, I just must say, huge congratulations to Japan, who just beat Spain and are now advancing into the next stage of the FIFA World Cup. I feel like we're witnessing an IRL sports shonen right now. Anyways, until the next exciting chapter of One Piece, see you, Space Cowboys.